A very good evening, everyone. Am I audible to all delegates?
Yes, please.
Thank you, ma'am. So again, a warm welcome and very good evening to all dignitaries presented in today's session. Our respected resource person, Dr. Hitesh Khurana, sir, and all delegates presented in today's live session. It is with my pleasure to introduce the resource person for today's session, Professor Hitesh Khurana, sir, a distinguished figure in the field of psychiatry with an illustrious career spanning over 18 years. Sir is a true luminary in the realm of mental health. Dr. Khurana, sir, holds the esteemed position of professor in the psychiatry at PGIMS Rohtak, where he also served as the in charge of geriatric services. His contribution to the field of geriatric mental health have been particularly noteworthy, marked by his postdoctoral fellowship in a specialized area. With an MD in psychiatry, Sir Pools has honed his expertise in the intricacies of mental health, a testament to his dedication to the well-being of individuals. Additionally, he has played a pivotal role in the postgraduate teaching in psychiatry at his institution, setting the next generation of mental health professionals. Professor Khurana's academic prowess is underscored by a remarkable list of achievements. He boasts an impressive tally of 30 publications, indicative of his deep-seated commitment to advancing knowledge in the field. His contributions have not gone unnoticed, as evidenced by accolades such as the Best Resident Award and the prestigious INTAS Award in 2016. In the realm of academic publishing, Sir served as an associate editor in Frontiers in Psychiatry, Physiotherapist, a role that underscores his standing as a leader in the field. Additionally, he holds the position of deputy editor at the Indian Journal of Social Psychiatry, further solidifying his influence in the academic community. Professor Khurana's expertise also extends to the realm of statistical analysis, where he serves as an statistical associate for the Indian Journal of Psychiatry. Furthermore, he plays a critical role as a reviewer for scheme journals, including PLOS, PLOS, or one and several other PubMed index journals specializing in mental health. His multidimensional contributions have significantly enriched the field of psychiatry, and his dedication to advancing mental health research is truly commendable. We are honored to have Sir again in this program to deliver one most important session of this program, that how to manage reference, what are the fundamentals of reference writing for synopsis and thesis. Please, sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Amit, sir, for so many nice words about me. Um, uh, I am thankful to the organizers, the Indian Institute of Applied Statistics and Institute for Training and Research in Ayurveda and the other associate institutes for giving me this opportunity to unite with you all to deliver this particular talk of today, which I have is titled as the fundamentals of reference writing, especially for synopsis as well as for thesis. But if we broadly say that there is no fundamental difference between the thesis when the reference writing is concerned for thesis and synopsis, this is this share the common characteristics only. And we'll be talking about all that one by one as we proceed uh, in the lecture. And I would at the outset I would commit that this is a very small topic. Although you might say feel that there are I have about more than 50 slides, but it covers a lot of other things, which I think practically not possible in any kind of workshop or in the lecture. And so I'll be skipping almost half of the slides and will be demonstrating to you about the basics of reference writing only. I'm trying to share my slides. Are these visible?
Yes, yes, sir, visible, sir.
Okay. Okay. So whatever I intend to cover in this particular topic is that we should know about what a reference is and what is the importance of reference writing in any kind of research, whether it is synopsis or whether thesis or you're writing research paper. Everywhere it bears the same importance and it cannot be underestimated anywhere else. Common reference styles in the medical research, I would like to cover precisely the Vancouver style, and there are many other styles also, which are the Modern Language Association MLA style, Harvard style, and American Psychological Association style. And these are few common styles which we see in the medical research, but because the Vancouver style is the most common kind of style which we follow, and I'll be giving an and taking examples from that only. And when we should write reference and when we should avoid writing reference, this is also an important thing which we should know. And how to write a reference, what are the different elements, we'll be covering about that also. And if the time permits, of course, it should, as I feel, then we'll be also covering something about the softwares and the tips and tricks to write references, because reference writing otherwise the students find very cumbersome. But with the help of softwares, it becomes very easy and a very flexible method, and we can modify in the way that suits us. So first of all, we should know that what reference writing is. It is when we talk about the reference writing, it really means that we are paying due regard to the works which we are actually going through, and it gives the credibility that whatever reference we are citing, reading, and if anything from that we have taken and mentioned in our research article, whether it is synopsis or whether it is thesis, and we are making a mention of that. Because why it is important? Because when we are writing any kind of article, it is most of the times to fill a research gap, because we don't know many things, and there are many things which we were not knowing when we were reviewing the literature also. And at that time we have to give the credit to all those who have found those kinds of facts for us, and in the otherwise it would be have no credibility. And in the similar way, there are some things which multiple authors have found, and there are many things which are known to almost everybody. And so we should give and credit to for that also. And it is really very difficult to say under those kinds of circumstances, but we'll know as we proceed further. Writing research is just like visiting any kind of a hotel property or something like that only. Okay, when you are mentioning you about your stay, whether it is good or bad stay, whether you enjoyed or not, I think if you are mentioning about yes, the hotel, the food was very nice, the swimming pool was very nice, a person would be interested in knowing which hotel you are talking about. And in that, if you don't mention about that, it means that it is just all you are making different kinds of stories, and it really doesn't mean anything. But you mention about the name of the hotel, then the person can visit its website, and the person can also confirm it from the others that how this particular hotel property is. In that way, it is giving a sort of credibility to whatever the narrative we are speaking to our friend. And you can compare it with the other kind of properties also. You can compare it with our home or vehicles and anything else. Okay, just as a vehicle or as our other property can be stolen or it can be misused, in the same way, research papers can also be misused if these are not mentioned, or if these are not cited or given the due credit of the findings which it carries. Um, so in this way, we can consider that if our property can be stolen, our research articles can also be stolen if we are not giving it a kind of credit to the reference, and it is called copyright violation or plagiarism and many other things which you'll be knowing. And so which is almost as serious as committing any kind of crime in the real world. And so reference definitely carries an importance, and it cannot be underestimated under any kind of circumstances when we have to write any kind of paper, or we have to submit any kind of proposal. Now, whenever you are writing a paper, the question usually comes that what are the things which you are citing, and what are the things you cannot or you are not citing, and what are the things you should cite or not. This is often a question in the student's mind. And to tell you the truth, in this world, there is nothing such that cannot be cited. You can cite even the building structure, you can cite even the periodicals. You must be getting Manorama and Grashoba or the other kinds of art magazines at your home. You can, if you're finding something interesting and useful for your research, especially when you are submitting a proposal, you can mention about those periodicals also. Newspaper articles also make the base of what the problems of the community, on the basis of which you can develop your proposal and submit a synopsis. So these can also be. And for the purpose of writing synopsis, you can find the reasons of citing almost anything to everything. It can be a music piece, it can be some sort of cartoon strip, or it can be even some kind of video media, and anything which you can think of. But when we are talking about writing thesis or a research paper, most of the times you will be seeing that more you are citing either the research articles, whether these are present in the hard form, printed form, or these are available online, or at the maximum, sometimes we also cite the books or the book chapters, and especially if something is of really very historical or a recent interest, something which is very known, common to all, we often omit this. And so if we are covering about the articles online or the hard copies, and it makes about 90% of the most of the research articles and thesis. And for the purpose of the synopsis also, the percentage may be around that only. And edited books really make a very small part of the citations, or the references, which in the book, in the published articles, you will be finding it almost 0 to 1 or 2%, or but it can be there in thesis and your synopsis. It can make about 5-10%, not to more than that. The more number of books you are putting, it means you are doing some kind of historical work. It is not really a worth reading, because it is just a compilation of the excerpts from the books. But the journal articles give us the real knowledge about the newer developments, and so it makes a reasonable contribution towards the newer understanding which we are going to do through the proposed research or from the thesis which you are going to carry. And so I think by this time, you are clear that why do we need reference writing or the information about the reference, and when do we need a reference info, and how do we refer to the information. This, of course, we will be covering, but by this time you should have some idea about whys and whens by this time. And why do we use referencing? I think this is for the authors who are actually doing a work. The data information which is outside our knowledge, we need to give a credit, and we want to make our writing very reliable, so that if anybody wants to verify it can be verified. And so we need to give a reference to the information which is outside our knowledge. And this kind of information may be that the information which was existing known to some people but not known to us, or it may be completely a recent development which was known to few persons only, especially the researchers who found it. And if we are finding some kind, we are quoting some kind of examples from the others works, especially if we are taking the graphs or any kind of other figures, and these are that is must that we should cite about that. So what I meant to say, anything which is not known to us, that is the criteria number one. And if that thing does not belong to us, these two make the base question about whether we should cite it or not. And if the answer to both is that if it is not known to us, if answer is yes, and if it is not our work, answer yes to any of these two makes a possibility that it should be cited. But if the answer to both is no, we need not cite about it. And for the readers also, the reference is important. It allows immediately the readers what had been the knowledge gap when we are writing the research proposal. Especially it is important at that time that what is already known from the in the review of literature, and what are the aims and the objectives of the proposed research. And once these are clear, to the readers, and there are chances that we can win a grant also on the proposed research. And so at that time, all those reviewers and all the readers would be interested in the verifying the facts also which we have given, which is possible only through the references. And when we are mentioning their names of the different authors, and when this particular work was published, and we are also avoiding the risk of plagiarism. And in plagiarism, we need to take care of the language also, that the language should also be our own. We cannot borrow or take anybody else's language also. Uh, and it makes the research more informative and more specialized, because if the knowledge gap is clearly verified, and it can be checked from the sources which we have cited, then it gives the importance to our work, that yes, that this particular information is missing, and so the gap needs to be filled through the research, and this research may be a proper choice for the filling that particular gap. And also that just a question which I raised, when do we use reference and when we cannot use reference? And if I have to say that Earth is round, or there are millions of galaxies in the universe, and the bacteria or the microbiome are the reasons for the human infections, and genesis is having some kind of genetic basis, as well as it is having some kind of physical or the physiological basis. These all are very general fact which almost everybody knows. And if I have to say that this particular thing is the cause of this particular disease, then also this makes some kind of sense. If I have to say that malaria is caused by plasmodium, yes, this is almost existing in most of the almost all kinds of books. So such facts, should I really, this is a question for you, that should I really provide reference information, or should I provide citation for such facts which are in fact everybody knows, or the specialized, those persons who are specialized know it through the knowledge of what is written in the textbooks? Should I really cite those? Anybody can answer this by unmuting or in the chat box. Anybody? Something general or something which is very specific to the field, which all the professionals are likely to be knowing in that particular field. No? Uh, I was expecting some kind of answer for this, but yes,
Dr.
Dr.
Anupriya,
Dr.
yes.
Anupriya has answered no reference. Yes, I fully agree with you, Dr. Anupriya. Yes, something which is very commonly known, and for this criteria is key. In case you are finding a particular fact in more than 5 publications, then it need not be cited. So you can always blatantly say that it is of no use to cite this. So not each and every line or every fact needs to be cited on that. But here you'll be seeing some very interesting thing, that if I in the question number 1 only, the specific to my field, we see the second example. Gut flora are the bacteria living in human digestive tract. I have agreed that I don't want to give any kind of reference to it, but in the second question, the gut flora are the bacteria living in the human digestive tract. It is the same sentence, but it is given two references along with that. Okay, why is it so? Why is it so? And here I say that I need to give reference to that. And so here I am contradicting myself. What is the unique thing which has happened over here, for which I had decided to go for the reference? Any idea? You can try your guessworks also.
We are taking a line as it is from the journal.
You are
Cannot change
hitting
the
the
words.
bullseye. Okay, you are hitting the bullseye. Yes, it is exactly like that. Okay, here in this particular sentence, because you can see the difference in the first line in the specific to my field, and in the second question is that okay, here I have used the double inverted comma also. It means that this particular line was published in some particular journal from which I have taken it without modifying as such. Without more any kind of modification, and it is generally stated that if you are taking more than 10 or 10 words in a string or more than that, then we should always use the inverted commas and we should give a reference to it. If it is the sentence exactly the same as in that particular journal. If you are modifying it, paraphrasing it, and it fits into the journal kind of thing, then it doesn't need. So here, this is the difference. Any information which is not available to us, but it is available to others, so we are citing this as the secondary reference. This also we need to cite. And the content in the form of diagrams, charts, images, do I need to cite those? As discussed earlier, that also needs to be cited. So there are only the journal things and which is written in the textbooks. You will be finding that these come in the categories which don't need to be cited, but otherwise all things need to be cited. So this is a brief diagram which is proposed by Conrad and other co-authors, on the basis of which you can decide how whether to cite or not. And so this is a very easy diagram, and it can help you in any kind of difficulty or confusion whether a particular article or particular reference or fact which we are mentioning need to be cited or not. What are the different elements of a particular reference? Now let's discuss about the basic, coming to the basics or the practical things about that. Okay, first of all, we have the paraphrase text or the media. What does it mean? That we have read a particular article, we have understood that particular article, and we are finding a particular thing in that article very useful. And we are writing that in our own language, or if it is a media now we cannot modify. And so it is, media is some kind of a text piece, always in the inverted comma. And so the paraphrase text or the media, that has to be there, which will be writing in the main body of our synopsis or in the thesis. That makes the most important part of a reference. Then the order of use. Okay, different citation styles give the different kind of order of use. Okay, our order can be in the sequence in which we as authors prefer to use it. Some reference, some particular article, we are citing it at the beginning of the article, and no, we have not cited any other article yet. So it will be the first article and we'll give it number 1. And then the second article which is being cited will in the sequence will be the number 2, and so number 3, and so on. And when an article is being recited, first article being again referred to for some other reasons, at number 5th, again it will get the number 1 only. So in this way, we have to specify the order of use. And sometimes it happens in this way, as it is most commonly it in the Vancouver style. And at others, we have to cite it in the sequence of the author and the chronological sequence. Author or the alphabetical sequence is the second preferred kind of sequence in the for the order of use. And then we have to plan writing a reference or the bibliography at the end. I hope you are familiar with these terms like the bibliography and the citation, and the other we'll be discussing these two. But I think it is not the case that you are totally completely unfamiliar with these terms, and I need to make any sort of uh, uh, a detailed kind of a thing for about that. And then the bibliography, authors, title, year, journal name, and the location of the article in the journal in the form of key in which volume and which number and which page number it is published. We have to give that. And in case it is published online, of course, then the some other number kind of elements also get added to it. So these are the elements of the reference, and if when all these three elements are available to us, we'll say that yes, we have the complete information about citation of a particular article in the text which we are creating. And this is a particular example which I have taken from the Vancouver style. Here you can see that it is generally accepted. There is a first sentence, and although it says it is generally accepted that this particular bacteria is not able to assimilate or not able to metabolize xylose, but it has been the found by some particular work which is cited at the number 4, and so it is appearing to us at the number 4. And in the study by the particular author Gong, this we are the next study which we used, and so we are mentioning it at the number 5 in this particular sequence, and at the end of reference also we are mentioning in the same sequence. And in the bibliography, the items 4 and 5 will appear in this way. From the Patino to Velskis M et al. These are the author's name. Within 2000, it is written 2019. It is the year in which it is published. Then it is a title, and then it is the name of the article journal. And then it is followed by the volume number 36 within bracket 9, and then it is followed by the page number, and then the DOI against which it is appearing online, and so for the other article reference Gong et al. Also. So in this way we formulate the reference in the text and in the bibliography or in the reference list also. And in text, highlight information citation is if there are multiple authors, we cite it in the this way only, or only the numbers I cited in the ascending order. That we don't have to change the order. We cannot mention 5, 3, but it has to be 3, 5, 10 only. And when we are using the author's name, then the reference is to be cited just after the author's name. Otherwise, you'll see that it is appearing at the end. Many times this confusion is also there. The number should be cited before the full stop or the after the full stop. When this confusion is there, I would recommend always refer to the guidelines of the university or that particular journal. If they are recommending it before the full stop, use it before. If they're mentioning it after the full stop, then mention it after. Otherwise, the Vancouver is very general about that, and it says it is to be mentioned at the end of the fact where which you are citing, or it is to be mentioned along with the authors if you are mentioning the name of the author. And APA style is another common style which which is also called as the author year style. Here you will be seeing that instead of 1 or 2, it is the author's name and the year in which the reference is cited. Here you can say Ekiscal and Pinto 1999, and then Ekiscal 1996, and this is following a alphabetical order only. That key Ekiscal and Pinto, it is then it is followed by the in this the Ekis it is mentioned Ekiscal and Pinto. This is the same as mentioned. The sequence is the same as in the it is appearing in the article, but here the first author's name makes the base for citing it in the bibliography of our own article. It is not that Carney et al. Cannot come earlier. Carney et al. Come earlier, but we have to follow the sequence in the bibliography, that Carney and the Geller will appear after the Ekskal and Pinto. This is for the purpose of bibliography. And if articles are getting by the same authors are getting repeated, and we accidentally find that the number authors names and the year are almost same, are the same, then we mention A, B or C along with the different articles, and we mention it, we clarify it accordingly. And that if there are 3 articles by Messi et al in 2006, and then we are not citing the second article, we are citing first and third, it will be the A and C as it is in the particular paragraph, you can see. And here you can see that all references are appearing in the alphabetical order of their author of first authors. And in this way, we have to make the reference list at the end of our articles if we are following the APA style. And what are the common mistakes we often do at we do the mistakes at all 3 parts of the references. First is that when we are paraphrasing, and our paraphrasing might be very poor, that although this appears to be a very good paraphrasing, but if you read it, it is having some kind of confusion. That the early report mentioned as cerevisiae cannot assimilate xylose, and saccharomycin moderately assimilate xylose. And here you can, if you see the paragraph above, you can always see that the Saccharomyces moderately assimilate xylose. It is a well-known fact, but certain species is not able to assimilate or metabolize xylose. This is an exception of a particular species. They should come afterwards. So in this way, the sequencing is not done proper. And so it does not make really a good understanding about what we are mentioning. And ultimately, the blame would be on the authors who have whose name is mentioned over here. So the paraphrasing has also to be good, so that it is making a clear meaning to all those who are reading that particular article. Something which is to be avoided, and cutting and pasting. Because of the computer and technology, it is giving us much ease and comfort of writing, but it is when it is badly used, it gives a bad name only. And so cut and paste practice is to be avoided under all kind of circumstances. And in all articles, we have to paraphrase, and we have to make other things. For near word to word plagiarism, or where we have copied the whole sentence, that is really a very bad kind of writing. Of maybe that a journal is allowing about 10 words of a string, but what we decided is that we copied the and almost complete paragraph, and at the end we are mentioning the author's names also, mentioning that in the inverted comma also, in order to safeguard ourselves. But it will really make a bad kind of writing in case we are not paraphrasing, especially in the modern era of technology. This is really not wanted, because technology is giving us all things which we can use it for it. Now, I hope you are also would be a bit uh, confused, or what these terms which I was often referring as the citations, reference, bibliography, what does it actually means? Citation means the in-text citations most of the times, as it is over here, that the Carney and the Geller in 2003 did this work. So this makes a citation, that the work say how I am using the particular work in the text. And work cited, reference are most of the times used interchangeably, that all those works which I have cited in the text are the same as the work cited, and this will appear at the end as the bibliography. And the references or the reference list is also a synonym of the works cited. All those works which are appearing in the text are appearing in the work cited and the references also. On the other hand, bibliography is a broad thing. Bibliography is that all those articles which I have read or studied or understood before taking up this particular research or writing this particular article. That is the bibliography. So what does bibliography means? It contains all those articles which I have not cited also, but I have gone through those. And so you can say that the bibliography is a sort of list of all those works which made me understand that why I need to take up this particular subject, or why I need to take up this particular uh, research, and what is my understanding and how deep my knowledge is likely to be. That is to be told by the bibliography. Whereas the references will tell us that what was the research gap between for the aims and the objectives which I have cited and the works which have already been done. So reference writing is something practical, and bibliography is something conceptual and related with the understanding of the subject. And many times the interested readers will be finding some more text, and some would like to read some to know more something more. And so wherever required or asked, bibliography may also be cited. And most of the times the bibliography is cited in a different kind of format in comparison with the references. References are usually in the APA and Vancouver style in the medical literature. But if you see bibliography here, it is in the alphabetical order, and most of the times either it is Turabian or the complicated form of that, that's the Chicago style of referencing that is mentioned in the bibliography. And reference styles, this is just the different kinds of methods that how we need to structure or grammatically arrange the different elements of the references which you have seen earlier in the style in the slide, and those can be arranged in a particular manner so that all are uniform. So reference style, when we are using this, ensures the uniformity across all the references, and so that the reader is not confused between why the particular article or this particular thing is missing, or this particular thing is not appearing, or the whatever. But when this is a uniform, and it gives put the reader also at ease in locating that particular source. So these are the common styles: the American Psychological Association, the author year style. Chicago style is also the author year style. Harvard style is also the author year style. And when we come to the Vancouver style, this is the number. This is the number. This is the number author style. When we are mentioning it in the number as it is appearing, and in the bibliography along with the number, first of all we are mentioning about the author's name only. So this is the author number style, and other first three are the author year style. Vancouver style, this was developed just accidentally, and it was not any kind of official meeting which was held in which it was decided to frame this. But it is that a few just scientists, when they met in the conference, they decided that it should be written in like that, and ultimately it became popular in the medical sciences, and the International Committee of Medical Journal Editor has also recommended this, and nearly about 400 different journals and scientific publications recommend Vancouver style or one or the other kind of modification of this particular style which we have. So if we know this, I think we know sufficiently about reference writing for the purpose of medical sciences. So here we can take one particular example of a print journal, and it is that the author, then it is followed by the surname, it can be the authors, and it can be the initials also. and then it is a title, and then the publication title means the journal and the year in which it is published, volume number, and the page is used. And if you see its grammar, and it becomes arranged in a sequence of four different sentences. If you see, yes, some question. Okay, if you see that there, it becomes the first sentence is just the author's names only. And what is how it is structured? It is structured the surname first. It is followed by the initials. Surname. It is followed by a gap. Space is there. Then it is followed by the initials. Then there is a comma. Between the initials and the comma, there is no gap. The thing to be noted over here. And then again there is a gap, and it is followed by Hari Kumar. Hari Kumar is again the author's surname, and it is again followed by a gap and then initials, and so till the end. That is the Selve space GL full stop. At the end, it has a full stop. If I have more than 6 authors, then we use the word et al after the 6 authors. That we first all the 6 authors are cited, and then we put et al means another and others for the rest of the author's name. And if we have 25 or more authors, then besides 6, we put the 7th name also, and the 7th name is of the last author, which is appearing at the list of 25 or more authors. And so when we are having 7 authors quoted or 6 authors quoted, we can always see and tell that what is the maximum likely number, or we can see in this, whether it is less than 25 or it is more than 25. We can always predict it from the author first sentence. So its grammar should be clear to you, that surname space initials comma space, and then in the same way we have to follow, and at the end there has to be a full stop. If you see the second, it is the histochemical and the immunohisto, whatever it is, and it is the name of that particular article which these authors have created. And this is just following the simple English grammar of a sentence. It is starting with a capital letter, and there are no in between capitalizations, and it is following a complete sentence structure, and it is ending with the full stop. So this is the simplest part in the reference writing in the bibliography. And then the third sentence is a strange kind of word. It is used like J space histotechnol full stop. And actually this is the standard abbreviation of this particular journal's name. J stands for journal, and the histotechnol may be standing for the histotechnology or histotechnol, some other derivative of that. And but it is a standard abbreviation. And then at the end, you'll be finding the second, the last sentence starts in a very strange way. It starts with the number. That number is the year in which it is published, and it is followed by a, a semicolon. And then it is followed by again a number 37 within bracket 4. It is the volume number, and in the bracket, it is the number of that particular publication, which is written on that in this particular sequence. It has been published, and it is followed by colon, and then it is followed by again an number, which is the 115-24. This is the actual number of papers of starting page and the end page of this particular article. And if you have to remember, it is something very easy. In the first sentence, you have the author's name only with the particular space and commas. At the end, there is full stop. Second sentence, it is just the simple English sentence. And third sentence is again looks like the simple English sentence, but with the complex words which have come from the standard abbreviations. And the last sentence is a complete jargon of numbers, in which you'll see that punctuation marks are appearing in the sequence of their power or sentence in the power or their role in the sentence. If we are putting semicolon, it is the weakest. It will stop for a moment when we are reading the semicolon. And when colon is there, we'll stop a bit more. And when we are using full stop, we'll completely stop at all. And there's a sentence won't move forward. And this is a time for the next sentence. So in this way, you can remember the grammar of the print journals for the Vancouver style. And if you could follow these, almost 90% of the things are done for this particular style. And if we are citing it from the internet, then what we see, the only change which comes over here is that at the end of the journal, we write in the square brackets, we write internet, and within the year, we also write that when we actually located it, it was published in 2012, but we located it in 2014. And at the end, it is mentioning the DOI number, which is the digital object index number, identifier number, or it can be the specific website from where it has been taken, from which with the link from where we can download this particular article directly. So this is the difference between the online and the hard copy journals which we see. And here you can see that this particular example is of the Vancouver style. And here in the fifth sentence, you'll be seeing that number 1 is written at the end of the first word, which is considerably. And it refers to the this particular reference, Conley R.R. et al. And then it is by the other authors. And you can, interestingly, you can see over here, this is not an alphabetical listing, and this is in the order in which these are appearing in the article. And this is the book structure. And there also you can see that the first grammar for the first sentence is almost same as is not almost, but it is the same as we see in the journal articles. For the second also, it is the same. And third, here it is a bit different. And here the word Hoboken is actually the name of the some city where it is published. Hoboken, New Jersey is the city where it is published. And here it is followed by the colon, the second most powerful kind of punctuation mark in English grammar. And then Ville, who is the publisher, and we're going to give the credit to the publisher also for a book. And then at the end is the year. And so we can see that the structure of the last sentence and first sentence and the second sentence is the same. It is only the third sentence which varies between the different kinds of article. So here this is the particular reference style where you can say for the particular article which is published in an edited book. Here the author's name has to be mentioned first, and then we write at by as it is shown over here. And interestingly, you can see that in the scientific work, the question mark and full stop, these can exist together. And so there is a punctuation mark, full stop is an essential part of the grammar of the second sentence. It is not that in case we are writing punctuation mark or the explanation, then we are exempted from putting full stop over here. It is not like that. Whether it is textbook, whether it is journal, everywhere it follows the same. And this particular, again, an example from the which is available online. And magazines also we can cite, but we'll be rarely using it. And websites can also be cited. I am covering these in a hurry because we really, in the modern world, we really don't need to remember all these things. But we need to be careful that it is having a particular structure. And whenever we are coming across a particular reference, and this particular book, the National Library of Medicine Style Guide for Authors, this is a very useful, and I'll be sharing the slides with you, and you can always download it from the link provided. It contains about 2000 to 2500 pages, but we need to see only that particular part which is coming across for us for the purpose of citation. And now you can do a bit of exercise. I have written a reference over here, and you can tell me if this reference is correct or it is incorrect. You can all see the sentence structure and then let me know.
Sir, the ATL should be written after six authors.
Yes, very nice.
Incorrect, sir.
Yes, there are more number of errors also in it. I think finding just one error is not sufficient.
Volume is there, but the issue is not there in.
Yes,
part.
beautiful observation. The volume we have to mention, but then the within the brackets, the issue number that is always optional. Because Vancouver style is aimed at saving space, and so issue number at times is an exception if there is a continuity.
Sir, the page number is like 882 to 87, not 887. Like in
Uh,
previous, you gave the example. 115 to
Yes, again a very good. Okay, it also avoids the Vancouver style. If you go to the ideal Vancouver style says that don't repeat the page number with the end page. If 88 is getting repeated, it would good to mention it as the 882-7. The 88, the repeat digits, these are to be avoided. Any other problem?
There should be semicolon after the year of publication, sir. 2006.
Yes, very right. Very. And I think you have found almost all except that.
And there should be full stop after the that article.
Yes.
Page number, there must be full stop.
Yes, there were full stop where? Full stop where? Your full stop is missing. This is right, but where it is missing?
That article before the name of the article, pediatrics.
Yeah, before the article, this is the name of the journal, Pediatrics. Yes, there has to be a full stop. And at the end of the page number also, there has to be a full stop. So you have found almost everything in this particular, what is wrong with this particular reference. And so the correct reference, you can mention it like this, which is over here. And I think you could find almost, you have found all the wrong elements in this particular reference. Very good. It means you have really understood it well. That's great. And here in this particular reference, is there anything wrong? This is again an article. I'll be giving the examples of article only because we are using these most of the times.
Stop shall be there after author's name.
It is missing?
There is a colon, sir.
Yes. That is a wrong element in it. Correct. Any other?
There should be two dots before the page number.
Precise.
Volume and
Yes.
issue.
There has to be a colon also. So,
Mm.
any other issue with this particular reference?
again 855 to 58. Only 8 would have been sufficient. And
Again, right. So this is the reference, and you can see that you are mentioning each, and you could point out almost everything what is wrong with this particular reference, and the correct reference as per, I won't say that as per you, me, as per you, I'll say that because you have corrected and you have found all these wrong elements. And so this is really satisfying for any kind of speaker when the participants are able to understand game. I'm really finding satisfied. But in case you have any questions, please do ask questions. So how to write reference, the grammar we know, and most of the times this is also a question when we should write reference. So we don't have to wait for till the end when we are finished with the articles. We have to write it as we are writing. Otherwise, we'll be at the end we'll be confused. and use software. It makes our life easy, and but softwares also make a mistake, so check for the accuracy about that. And these are the few softwares which are available, and among these all softwares, the Zotero, which is starting with Z, and Mendeley, these are the most popular because of their free availability, and they also giving us some kind of free web space to save our references. Mendeley gives more and Zotero gives less, but both works equally good, and we need to be efficient at one particular reference software only. And it becomes very easy when we are to shift from one style to other. But in case we have done it manually, it takes us hours. But with the reference managers, it takes us few minutes, seconds, not even minutes. And so these are the differences which you can see in the Zotero. In Mendeley, you can open PDF and you can underline, you can highlight. This facility is not available in Zotero, but otherwise Mendeley and Zotero, you can see these work quite similarly. And this is the checklist for you, which you can follow before. Okay,
I got a
yes, please.
clarification, sir.
Yes, please.
Can I ask? Sir, is it necessary that while writing the reference, whether we have to mention which style of reference we have followed, example, Vancouver or anything like that?
No, you don't have to.
Somewhere in the
You don't.
article. Somewhere in the article.
No, you don't have to mention it because it is you have been instructed like that. And always see the guidelines to the authors or instructions to the author part and which particular style is recommended. Follow that. And we need not mention that we have followed this particular style.
So if no
And
instruction is mentioned, is it necessary because
yes, if I think you won't come across this kind of situations that in the instructions they are not mentioning about the which particular style is to be followed. Style would
yeah.
always be given. I am 100% sure about it.
Okay.
But in
Okay.
case it is not given, then just see the other publications of that particular journal, ki what particular style they are following, and follow that particular style.
Okay.
So,
And one more thing about the software, sir.
yes, please.
I mean, you have mentioned about some of the softwares like Mendeley, etc. So,
Anji.
because I don't know about it, the thing is, if we give the author's name, etc., and if we search the software, if we instruct the software to follow which style, it will automatically do it for us. It is like that?
No, it is not like that. Okay, what
Okay.
this, okay, I'll be just demonstrating to you that how reference writing softwares help us. It will take me about 10 minutes in case the computer doesn't come to know about my weaknesses. It will just take 5 to 10 minutes. In this, I can demonstrate to you that let's say I have written this particular article and I want to put references. I am using Mendeley. I have kept Mendeley open over here, and I think you can see in the taskbar here below also that this Mendeley software is open and it looks like that. And whenever I am using Mendeley along with Microsoft Word, it has to be open. And now I want to put reference over here, and from the software I checked that the reference which I want to put over here, there is some author whose name starts with Gupta, and it is giving me the complete list in all those articles in which the name Gupta is appearing. And I find that this particular article is useful for me, and so I am citing it over here. And it has put one for me. I didn't instruct it to that put one. It has automatically put one for me. And now I want to cite second reference over here. And I know that my second reference contains a word old age in the title. And so I am looking for that. Is there any kind of article which is mentioning the older adults or the I think this is the article which I want to cite over here. And so I am putting this particular reference over here. And in the third reference also, I know that there is some author whose name starts like Grover or something like that. It is there. So yes, I am finding that particular second article which is appearing in the list is the name of that. And so it is automatically choosing the name 3 for me. And then at the end also, I want to put some kind of reference. And I feel that author should have some name like Smith, the reference which I read over, and this is the reference which is appearing over here. And I need to remember something about that particular reference. And if I am not able to find, no issues. I can always open the Mendeley and I can always search over here or the list of the articles over here, and I can make the selection from here too. Now I have made the list of, I have cited the 4 articles in this particular article. And now I want to write the bibliography over here for the articles which I am citing over here. Please don't mind my spellings. I am doing it just for the purpose of demonstrating only. And here I write bibliography, and here I am putting the cursor, and then I click on the insert bibliography. See the magic it is doing. It is putting all the references in the sequence I have selected. Now I took this particular reference or the article to my or the supervisor, and they advised that the paragraph number 4 is placed wrong and it has to come at the number 1. And so I just I came back to my room and I cut it over here and I just pasted it over here in this way. And now the reference number 4 is appearing first now, but the Vancouver style doesn't guide me like that. What I'll do, I'll just refresh it after making the correction, and it is making the correction for me. And the authors and in the sequence of the references in the bibliography, this has also automatically changed. And later on, I was instructed that instead of Vancouver, you have done something wrong. Instead of Vancouver, you have to follow the APA or some other kind of style. Okay, I'll follow the APA style, which is this. And again, I'll be just refreshing it, and it has automatically changed all the references for me. And here now the 1, 2, 3, 4 have gone, and the author's name and the year are coming in the bracket, and the list has also become in the alphabetical order. You can see over here without doing anything from my side, just with the click of the mouse. And this is how the reference managers work. And this is the magic, really a magic, but we have to be very careful, and that we need to see that whether the software is making some kind of mistakes or not, whether this full stop is required over here or it is to be omitted, and whether the other elements are complete or not, whether this the I require citing the other key, whether it is really a 1-page article or it is just picking the first page of the articles from it is appearing. Here you can see it is the problem with the Indian journal of many Indian journals, that the repeat digits almost always appear, and so we have to correct over there. So knowing grammar is useful even when we are using the softwares, but use of software is always recommended. With this, I finish my talk. Over to you all. Thank you very much. And any questions, clarifications if required, I would be glad if I can answer to those.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful session. And I requested to all delegates, if there is any query remaining, you can clarify here.
What does paraphrasing exactly mean? Paraphrasing.
Yes,
paraphrasing.
yes, really a very useful question. I must admit that. Paraphrasing means that whatever the authors have cited in a particular article, we need to mention that fact, but in our own language. We don't have to borrow the or the copy the language of the authors. We will be thinking about that particular article, what they are mentioning in that, and then we'll be writing in it our own words. So if it may sound like something like the key, if you have to write that tuberculosis is caused by the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, we can paraphrase it that most of the, we can make some, this one simple sentence is difficult to paraphrase, but whole paragraph in our own language, it simply means, you can say that. If I could clarify, or there is still confusions, I would be clarifying them.
No, sir, thank you. And plagiarism is when we are taking 10 words continuously as it is from another author.
Yes, Plagiarism is plagiarism means many things. If we are not quoting the author's name, that is also plagiarism. And if we are quoting the extra author's name, that somebody who is not author, but still we have mentioned that particular name, that means the wrong references is given. That is also a form of plagiarism. It is having the many ways in which the plagiarism manifests, but not citing or copying as such without putting it in the inverted commas. This is the most common way to understand about the plagiarism.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, you have mentioned that issue number is not mandatory to mention.
Yes,
If
it is
the
not.
issue number is available, so we should mention it or not?
Then you can always avoid it. You
Okay.
can always avoid it because most of the journals, they are printing the issues in a sequence. That if first issue is having 1 to 60 page, the second issue will start with the 61 to 80 or the 100 pages, like that. Okay, if the pagination or the page number sequencing across different issues is continuous, then you can always avoid the issue number. Otherwise, you do mention if there is a discontinuity.
Okay.
Sir, when we cite some articles and give about the definition of something, then there is need to paraphrase the definitions also.
Again, a very useful question. That in case you are mentioning a standard definition which is appearing in textbooks, you need not give any kind of reference to it. Which is a very common part of understanding. That supposing we are mentioning about writing an article about the bacteria and we wish to mention the definition of bacteria. So any definition of bacteria given in the books of botany, microbiology, or any other, that may be followed, which is a standard definition. But if a definition of some author is very specific and unique, then we need to cite that particular reference. That author so and so has defined bacteria like that.
Thank you, Dr. Niranjan. I hope you got the answer of your query. Is there any other query? Because we are just moving to end of the second month of the program, which is focused on the writing, research writing. And from 1st July, we are moving towards the statistics and other important topics. So tomorrow we have session on plagiarism check and its guidelines. If there is any doubt regarding today's session on reference, you can ask. We are open for 1 more minute. And I will share the PDF that how to install the softwares I received from the sir. I will share it with you all.
I'll share slides also with you.
Yeah,
Slides are, I've tried my best to make the slides comprehensive. It contains many other styles also, because the Vancouver style is the most common, so I prefer to focus upon that. And covering all slides or covering all styles is not possible in any kind of workshop, and it is not required to.
Yes, basically all participants are from medical background, so it's not required, sir. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful session and very informative session. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing expertise with all delegates again in this program. And thank you all delegates for clarifying your doubts at the end of session for wonderful queries. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amit sir, and thank you
sir.
for the
Thank you, sir.
music.
So this is the end of today's session. Tomorrow we'll start as scheduled with scheduled session, that is an plagiarism check and guidelines, that will be delivered by Dr. Girish K. sir. So be on time. Tomorrow we will discuss the what things need to be avoided, how to remove the plaque, what things need to be remembered while writing our research thesis or paper. Thank you everyone again. Thank you very much.